Welcome to It's English Podcast, where English feels easy, calm, and natural.
Hello, hello, hello! Welcome back to It's English Podcast, the place where learning English is never boring, never scary, and always, always full of heart. I am your host, Mary, and I am so happy you are here today.
And I am Brian. Welcome, 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 everyone. Whether you are joining us for the very first time or you have been with us from the very beginning, we are truly grateful for every single one of you. This community is something special.
It really is, Brian. You know, every time I read your comments, every time I see how hard you are working on your English, my heart just feels so full. You are all so brave, and we see that bravery every single day.
Brave. That is exactly the right word. Learning a new language when you are an adult, or even when you are young, takes real courage. It takes a kind of bravery that most people do not give themselves enough credit for. So if you are here, listening, you are already doing something wonderful.
Before we begin, we have a small and kind favor to ask. If you are enjoying our podcast, if it has helped you even just a little bit, please click the like button right now. It honestly takes just 1 second, but it means the whole world to us, and it helps other people who need this content find it too.
And please subscribe to Mr. English channel so you never miss a new episode. We put a lot of love into every single recording, and we would hate for you to miss out. Also, if you know someone who is learning English and may be feeling a little frustrated or stuck, please share this episode with them. Today's topic might be exactly what they need to hear.
And oh, Brian, today's topic. I have been so excited about this one all week. Should we tell them?
Yes, let us tell them. Today, friends, we are talking about something that every single English learner in the world experiences. Something that can feel embarrassing. Something that can make your face turn red. Something that can make you want to close your book and hide under your blanket.
Brian, you are making it sound terrifying.
But here's the twist. Today, we're going to show you why that scary, embarrassing thing is actually your greatest teacher. Today, we're talking about mistakes.
Mistakes are not your enemy. Mistakes are your best friend. And by the end of this episode, we hope with all of our hearts that you will truly believe that. So get comfortable, make yourself a warm drink, and let us have a beautiful conversation together.
Mary, can I be honest with you about something?
Of course, Brian, always.
When I was learning a second language years ago, I used to go completely silent in conversations. Someone would ask me a question, and I just knew the answer. I had the words somewhere in my head, but I was so terrified of saying the wrong thing that I just smiled and nodded, like a plant. I was just a very polite plant.
A very polite plant. Brian, I love that. But I understand completely. I think so many people listening right now know exactly that feeling. Your heart beats fast, your hands might even shake a little, and there's this little voice inside your head whispering, "What if I say it wrong? What if they laugh?"
And here's the thing about that fear. It's completely natural. It's not a sign that something is wrong with you. It's actually a sign that you care. You care about communicating well. You respect the language and the person you are speaking with. That caring is beautiful, but it can also become a wall that keeps you from growing.
That's such an important point. Fear that comes from caring is understandable, but when that fear turns into silence, when it stops you from even trying, it no longer serves you. It holds you back.
Think about it this way. Imagine a little child learning to walk. That child falls down dozens of times, hundreds of times maybe. Does anyone stand over that child and say, "Oh no, you fell again. You are so bad at walking. Maybe you should just crawl forever"?
Of course not. We clap. We say, "You're doing so well. Try again. You're so close."
Exactly. We celebrate the attempt. We understand that falling is part of learning to walk, and English is the same. Every mispronounced word, every grammar mix-up, every moment of confusion, those are your falls, and they deserve a round of applause, not shame.
So, to everyone listening who has ever felt embarrassed about their English, who has ever apologized for their accent, who has ever stayed quiet when they had something beautiful to say, this episode is for you. You are doing incredibly well, and your mistakes are proof of that. Okay, Brian, let us get into the real heart of today's topic. Why are mistakes good? Because when we first say that, it sounds a little strange, doesn't it? We grow up being told that mistakes are bad. Red marks on our homework, points taken off our tests. The message we receive from a very young age is that mistakes are failures.
And that message, honestly, it is one of the most damaging things for language learning, because language is not a test. Language is a living, breathing tool for human connection. It was not designed to be perfect. It was designed to be used.
Here is something that I find truly fascinating from science. When you make a mistake and then you correct it, or you are corrected by someone else, your brain actually fires stronger. It creates a stronger memory than if you had simply done it right the first time.
Really? That is incredible. So the brain actually holds on to the lesson more tightly when a mistake is involved?
Yes, it's called error-based learning. Your brain experiences a tiny surprise, a kind of, wait, that's not right moment, and that surprise triggers deeper processing. The correction sticks. The right form becomes part of you, in a way that reading a grammar rule from a textbook simply cannot match.
You know, this reminds me of something that happened to me last year. I was at a formal dinner and I wanted to compliment the host. I wanted to say that the food was delicious, but instead I said, "The food is very tasteful," and there was just this little pause at the table.
Oh no, what happened?
The host very kindly said, "Thank you. I think you mean delicious or tasty?" And I said, yes, exactly, thank you. And everyone at the table was absolutely lovely about it. But here's what's interesting. That was maybe 3 years ago, and I have never, ever confused tasteful and delicious again. Not once. That little moment of embarrassment burned the correct word right into my memory.
That is a perfect example, Brian. And did your relationship with the host suffer? Did people think less of you?
Not at all. If anything, I think it made the evening warmer, more human. People appreciate genuine effort. They appreciate someone who is trying. The mistake made me more real, not less.
That word, real, I think that's one of the most important things we can talk about today. When you speak with imperfection, when you struggle a little, people see the real you. They see your courage, your determination, your heart. A perfect speaker can sometimes seem distant or intimidating, but someone who is clearly trying, who makes a mistake and keeps going, that person is relatable. That person is human, and humans connect with humans.
Now let's get started for our next session, that is vocabulary section.
Our first word today is confidence. Confidence means believing in yourself, trusting your own abilities even when things are hard.
For example, she spoke with confidence in the meeting, even though she was nervous inside. Now, confidence in English learning does not mean you never feel scared. It means you choose to speak anyway, even when your voice shakes a little.
Which brings us to our second word, embarrassed. To be embarrassed means to feel uncomfortable or ashamed, usually because of a social mistake.
For example, he was embarrassed when he mispronounced the word in front of the class. And here's the beautiful truth about embarrassment in language learning. It fades. The feeling might be strong for a few seconds, but it always passes, and what stays is the lesson.
Our third word is courage. Courage means doing something even though you're afraid. It means acting despite fear, not the absence of fear.
Mode variable. It takes real courage to speak a foreign language in front of native speakers. Every single time you open your mouth and try your English, you are showing courage. That's not a small thing. That is a genuinely remarkable thing.
Fourth word, progress. Progress means moving forward, getting better little by little over time.
Warmly. Her English progress has been amazing. Every week she is better than the week before. Progress does not have to be fast. Progress just has to be real, and every mistake you make and learn from is progress.
Gently. Our fifth word is patient. To be patient means to stay calm and keep going even when things take longer than you want.
Softly. Be patient with yourself. Learning a language takes time. This might be the most important lesson in all of language learning. We live in a world that wants everything now, instantly. But a language is not instant. It grows slowly, like a beautiful tree. Be patient with that tree.
With a smile. Sixth word, communication. Communication means sharing thoughts, feelings, and information with another person.
Practically. Good communication is more important than perfect grammar. The goal of English is not to score 100% on a test. The goal is to communicate, to connect, to be understood. If the message gets through, you have succeeded.
Building to a close. And our final word today is resilience. Resilience means the ability to recover from difficulties, to bounce back after something hard.
With deep feeling. His resilience in learning English despite many setbacks is truly inspiring. Resilience is what separates people who eventually speak English beautifully from people who give up too soon. Every time you make a mistake and you try again, you are building resilience. You are becoming stronger. You are becoming unstoppable. Mary, can we share some real stories now? Because I think this is where people really feel less alone.
Absolutely. Let's start with yours because I know you have a good one saved up.
Okay, so a few years ago I was traveling and I was in a coffee shop, a beautiful little place with dark wooden tables, soft music. I wanted to order a large black coffee, and I was practicing in my head before I even walked up to the counter.
Oh, we have all done that. The mental rehearsal in the queue.
Yes, but when I actually got to the counter, I completely lost my train of thought, and I said, very confidently, "Can I please have a black large?" The barista, a very sweet young woman, looked at me and said, "You mean a large black?" And I stood there for just a moment and I said, yes, that is exactly what I mean. A large black. Thank you so much." And she smiled, the most kind, genuine smile, and she said, "Of course, no problem."
And did she make you feel small or stupid?
Not even for one single second. She corrected me so gently that I almost didn't notice. And then she made me the most delicious coffee I have ever had. The mistake did not ruin the morning. If anything, it is one of my favorite little memories from that trip.
That is so beautiful. And I want to highlight something important in that story. You went to the counter, you tried. A lot of people would have pointed at the menu or used their phone translator, but you tried with your voice, with your English, even if it was not perfect, and that matters enormously.
Now, what about you, Mary? I know you have a story too.
Oh, goodness. Okay, so when I was much younger, I was at a lovely family dinner at someone else's house. A big table, many people, lots of food. And the mother of the family, she was so kind. She kept offering me more food. And I wanted to politely say, "No, thank you, I'm full."
But instead, you said,
I said, "No, thank you, I'm pregnant." I mixed up the words, full and pregnant, and the entire table went completely silent for about 3 seconds, and then they all erupted in the most enormous, kindest laughter you have ever heard. The grandmother reached across the table and patted my hand and said, "Sweetheart, that is the funniest thing I have heard in years."
Oh, Mary, that is incredible.
I was so red. I thought I was going to evaporate from embarrassment. But you know what? That family loved me for it. We laughed together. And I never, ever mixed up full and pregnant again.
And that is the lesson, isn't it? Laughter is the fastest way to dissolve the tension of a mistake. When you can laugh at yourself, when you can say, "Oh, that was a funny one," you take all the power away from the embarrassment. You transform it into something light and even joyful.
Absolutely. Laughter is not making fun of yourself. Laughter is releasing the pressure. It's saying, "I'm human, this is human, and that is completely okay." Let us talk about some real, useful things that our listeners can do when they feel nervous about making mistakes, or when they have just made one and they feel that familiar wave of embarrassment.
Yes, let us be really practical here. What are the actual tools people can use?
The first and most important tip is simply this: keep going. When you make a mistake in the middle of a sentence, do not freeze. Do not stop and say sorry 3 times. Just keep going. You can say, "I mean," and then continue with the correct version. For example, "I went to the store yesterday." I went to the store last week. It's natural. It's normal. Native speakers do it all the time.
My second tip is about what I call the mirror practice. Before you use your English in a real conversation, use it alone in front of the mirror. Talk to yourself. Tell the mirror about your day. Tell the mirror about a film you watched. Make every mistake you want to make in front of that mirror, because the mirror will never judge you. It will just reflect you back, gently and honestly. And as you do it more and more, you'll start to hear your own mistakes, and you will naturally begin to correct them.
Third tip, record yourself on your phone. This is something that so many successful language learners swear by. Just record yourself speaking English for even 2 or 3 minutes a day. Then listen back. You'll be surprised. Sometimes the mistakes you thought you were making, you're not making at all. And sometimes you'll hear things you want to improve. Either way, it's pure, honest feedback with no pressure and no judgment.
Fourth tip, and this one is close to my heart. Find a kind conversation partner. It doesn't have to be a native speaker. It can be another learner at a similar level to you. Someone who is also brave, also trying, also making mistakes. Practice together. Laugh together. Create a safe space where mistakes are expected and celebrated.
Fifth tip, keep a little mistakes journal. When you make a mistake and you learn the correct version, write it down. Not to punish yourself, but to celebrate the lesson. You're not writing down what you did wrong. You're writing down what you now know. That's a beautiful difference.
And the sixth tip is perhaps the simplest and most powerful of all. Be kind to yourself. Genuinely, deeply, truly kind. Speak to yourself the way you would speak to a good friend who's learning something new. You would never say to a friend, "That was terrible. Give up." You would say, "That was really good. You're getting better. Keep going." So say that to yourself every single day.
Because here's the truth that we want every single person listening to carry with them. Confidence in English doesn't mean you never make mistakes. Confidence means you're completely okay even when you do make mistakes. Confidence is not the absence of imperfection, it's the acceptance of it.
You are not less intelligent because you make a grammar mistake. You are not less worthy because your pronunciation is not perfect. You are a human being doing something extraordinary, reaching across cultures, building bridges with words. That is something to be deeply proud of.
Brian, I want to take a moment here to speak from the heart, if that is okay.
Of course, always.
I have met so many people over the years who gave up on learning English, and every single one of them, without exception, gave up not because they were not smart enough or not capable enough. They gave up because they were too hard on themselves. They expected perfection too soon. They measured themselves against native speakers and felt like they were falling short. And that comparison, that impossible standard, it broke their joy.
That is heartbreaking when you say it like that.
It is. And I think about how different their lives might be now if someone had sat them down and said, "Your English does not have to be perfect to be beautiful. Your accent is part of who you are. Your mistakes are part of your story. The journey is the point, not just the destination."
When you said, "the journey is the point," something in me really shifted. I think in our modern world, we are so obsessed with results, with outcomes, with levels and certificates and scores, that we forget to actually enjoy the process. We forget that every conversation, every stumbled sentence, every late night with a vocabulary list, that is the real experience. That is the real living.
And to our listeners who might be going through a hard time with their English right now, who might be feeling frustrated or discouraged, who might have made a big mistake this week that still feels raw, I want to say this directly to you. You are doing better than you think. The fact that you are here, listening, learning, trying, that says everything about who you are. You are someone who does not give up. You are someone who chooses growth, and that genuinely is extraordinary.
You are not behind. You are not too slow. You are not too old. There is no perfect time to learn and no perfect speed at which to do it. You are exactly where you are supposed to be, and every step forward, no matter how small, is a victory worth celebrating. We always like to give our listeners a practical challenge at the end of each episode, because we believe that listening is wonderful, but doing is where the magic really happens.
This week, we want you to do something that might feel a little uncomfortable at first, but that we promise will change you for the better. We want you to deliberately seek out a conversation in English, not in a classroom, not in a practice exercise, but a real conversation with a real person.
It doesn't have to be long. It could be ordering something at a cafe. It could be asking someone for directions. It could be chatting briefly with a colleague or a neighbor. It could even be a short comment you leave on a YouTube video in English. But the rule is this: you have to speak or write, and you cannot use a translator.
And when you make a mistake, and you very well might, we want you to notice the mistake, correct it if you can, smile, and keep going. Just like we talked about today. No apology, no shame, just warmth and courage and the joy of trying.
Then we want you to come back here to the comments section below this video and tell us about it. Tell us what happened. Tell us what you said. Tell us what the mistake was, if there was one, and tell us how it felt. We genuinely read every single comment, and hearing your stories is honestly the best part of doing this podcast.
And here's a little extra challenge within the challenge. Share a funny English mistake you've made. It can be from this week or years ago. Write it in the comments in English. Imperfect English, perfect English, any English at all. Because as we said today, every comment you leave is a step forward, and we love every single one of them, mistakes and all.
Well, Mary, we have covered a lot of ground today, and I think I speak for both of us when I say this has been one of the most meaningful episodes we have done in a long time.
It really has. Let's just gently walk back through the main things we talked about today, so that our listeners can carry them with them as they go about their week.
We began by talking about the fear of making mistakes, and how that fear, while completely natural, can become a wall between us and the fluency we dream of. Silence might feel safe, but silence doesn't teach us anything.
We talked about how mistakes are actually scientifically proven to create stronger memories. Error-based learning is real. Your brain remembers the correction more deeply when a mistake has been made. Every stumble is a lesson that sticks.
We shared some real stories, including a certain mix-up involving the words full and pregnant at a dinner table, which I still can't think about without laughing.
I'll never live that one down. But we also talked about how laughter transforms embarrassment into connection. When you can laugh with someone over a mistake, you have created something warm and human between you.
Practically, we walked through 6 practical tips. Keep going after a mistake, use the mirror for safe practice, record yourself and listen back, find a kind conversation partner, keep a mistakes journal, and above all, be kind to yourself.
And we spoke from the heart about the emotional side of this journey, about how too many people give up not because they lack ability, but because they're too hard on themselves, about that the journey is the point, about how your accent is part of your story, and your mistakes are proof that you are trying.
Confidence doesn't mean you never make mistakes. Confidence means you're okay even when you do. That's the truth we want every single listener to walk away with today.
You are brave. You are capable. You are doing something wonderful. And we are so, so proud of you.
Well, my friend Mary, what a joy today has been. I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
The joy has been entirely mine, Brian. And thank you truly to every single person who listened today. Whether you caught every word or only some of them, whether you understood everything or had to pause and rewind, you showed up. And showing up is everything.
Please don't forget to click the like button if you enjoyed today's episode, and please subscribe so you never miss us. We release new episodes regularly, and every one of them is made with you in mind.
Gently share this episode with someone who needs it today. Maybe someone who told you they're struggling with their English. Maybe someone who is too afraid to speak. Let this episode be a small gift from you to them.
From me, Brian, keep speaking, keep stumbling, keep laughing, and keep going. You are so much closer than you think.
And from me, Mary, remember, your mistakes do not define you. Your courage to try again does. Until next time, everyone, keep talking, keep making beautiful mistakes, and above all, keep having fun. Goodbye for now.